together. We change the world.
Hello everyone, it's your boy Theo here with a Should You Pull tier list for the month of November. This tier list is just my opinion and is not always a measure of character strength. Team building is the core of this game and we can make any unit work when properly set up. If you have a favorite, always go for them. First in the lineup is a heretic event featuring reworks for Relm and Yuna. Relm is a magic damage dealer with a unique turn warp mechanic. Her FR conditions are quite simple. Use a magic ability on a target with Sketch debuff for a plus 80% HP damage bonus per turn. Standard FR with no additional bonuses. Her BT lasts for 8 turns, but the duration will not decrease when she takes free turns from Sketch. It also provides different effects based on ally positions. Allies to her right will get free turn warp from her Sketch effect, just like Relm, while allies to her left and Relm herself will get stronger BT auras. Having Relm in our party changes the way we approach a fight, but not necessarily for the better. Her gimmick relies heavily on enemy taking turns, but she does nothing to mitigate the danger of boss attacks. And because of the sheer number of turns she will get from Sketch, Force time will burn out quite fast, with her dealing very mediocre damage. But that is where prolonged HP damage bonus or FR retain comes in. She leans in heavily towards that kind of playstyle, where we activate FR and quickly bring it up to 999% and then let it expire, and we spend the majority of the time with boosted damage from FR retain. It's not a playstyle for everyone, hence her placement in the safe skip tier. In the grand scheme of things, strategies that rely on FR retain tend to be suboptimal. Next up is Yuna. She gets a rework to her FR, now with plus 70% when party member ends turn with no debuff, with plus 40% when using a Transform Brave or HP attack. When used as a primary force time, her FR provides 100% debuff evasion and 50% HP damage and limit up when the party has no debuffs, making this a solid pick as primary force time. Yuna provides fantastic utility from her gaze charging, debuff cleansing and debuff evasion. She is also a perfect fit in teams with Transform Brave and HP attacks because we'll get plus 110% HP damage bonus per turn with her FR. That said, even after the rework, Yuna's damage output is still below average. Combined with the fact that her BT auras are weaker compared to other supports, Yuna is unfortunately placed in the safe skip tier. We have other better options than Yuna with better damage and better auras, but she does work really well with other Transform Brave and HP attackers. Next in the lineup is a raid event featuring a new BT and FR for Ignis. Ignis has generic FR conditions. Party member at full health and no debuffs for plus 80% HP damage bonus per turn. His BT unlocks a follow-up attack, Total Clarity, a powerful AoE attack that extends his buffs by 1 turn. Ignis is a powerhouse. He has damage output that is able to match other pure damage dealers. He's also a flexible unit because of his 2 support stances. One stance leans more towards support with debuff evasion and higher HP regen, while the other stance leans more towards damage. Both of his base skills are Gaze Charger, and he has minor ally turn manipulation from his EX. All these fantastic qualities and damage dealing capabilities earns Ignis the first spot at the Theo approved tier. We then have a new story chapter featuring a new character Leonora from FF4 The After Years. She is a support, healer and reviver. Just like Ignis, she also gets a generic FR with 80% uptake when the party is at full health and have an overhead buff or special effect. Leonora's gimmick is tied to her overhead buff. It can store value up to 100% of her HP damage limit, and this is increased whenever the party heals. If Leonora ends her turn with full health, she will trigger a follow-up attack Flare based on this stored value. If she starts her turn with the KO'd allies, the stored value will be consumed and party members will be revived. Her BT builds further on this gimmick by doubling the maximum stored value, and this value cannot decrease while her BT effect is active. This makes her quite a unique support with many mechanics related to ally HP. She has Party Last Stand effect and Auto Revive, ensuring party safety, and she's also a rare gauge charger for black crystal color, albeit a slower one because of her follow-up tech. This makes her quite useful for weekly crystal quest. And to top it off, she provides a lot of healings from her skills, and more uniquely from her LD buff that provides 1% healing whenever a party member gains Brave. This healing is activated per tick of Brave gain and can result in a lot of healing. Most notably, she has a fun interaction with Maria's FR condition that increases HP damage bonus by 2% for every heal tick. This can lead to hilariously high HP damage bonus increase. I place Leonora in the You Decide tier. Healing and revive can be useful, but they are often weaker than other damage mitigation methods that can often be achieved by using calls. If your roster is in need of someone like her, then she can be a great pull to round out your cast. Next in line is part 2 of the story chapter, featuring new weapons for Yida and a rework for Lunafreya. Starting with Yida. She gets a simple but extremely effective rework. Starting from her FR, she provides plus 80% HP damage bonus per turn when using a melee ability against a broken target. This FR comes with 50% HP damage and HP damage limit up bonus when attacking a broken target. Fantastic FR as primary, especially in melee teams. Her BT is where things start to go crazy. It has a stack-based mechanic that starts at level 1 and will increase whenever Yida takes a turn, maxing out at level 3. At maximum stack, this BT provides 30% HP damage limit up to the party and a whopping 120% HP damage limit up to Yida. So she gets a total of 150% cap up just from the BT alone. And this BT is where her strength lies. This increased cap allows Yida to dish out extremely high damage. If we combine all sources of HP damage limit like Ultima weapon, armor and her FR, she gets 265% cap up effect, and that is before considering the auras we get from her allies. Simple and clean rework. This BT alone is enough to cement Yida's position in the Theo approved tier. If you are looking for a no-hassle damage dealer with high damage output, then Yida's your girl. Next up is Lunafreya. She gets a damage rework across all her kit and a minor update to her FR conditions, now netting up to plus 100% HP damage bonus per turn when we use a double enchanted ice and water ability while granting buff to another ally. This can be quite good in a team that can consistently buff allies. Luna still plays the same way. Her real strength lies in her LD ability. Her LD provide buffs depending on the position of her allies. Quick Prayer to allies to her right and Heavy Prayer to allies to her left. Quick Prayer is really the buff that sets her apart. This buff has many useful applications and it allows for much cleaner executions of combos. And the best part is, we can get this just from her LD call. Even with her rework, Lunafreya is not a very powerful unit. She has subpar damage, and her BT auras are weaker now compared to current support standards. But while Lunafreya herself is in the safe skip tier, her call is not. Her LD weapon is one of those must-have weapons. If you do not yet have her LD, I highly recommend pulling for it just for the call. Next in the lineup are 3 unknown events. 1 Lost Chapter, 1 Spiritus, and 1 Heretic event. These are currently speculated to be Jessie's Lost Chapter, Diablo's Spiritus event featuring Cissnei, and Arciela's Heretic event. But a bit of disclaimer, these are not 100% confirmed. These are only guesses based on the JP timeline. If it turns out to be different, I will release a separate video for those characters. Jumping right into Jessie's Lost Chapter, featuring a new BT for Jessie and a new FR for Snow. Jessie's FR got a small glow up. Her conditions are now as follows. Use a range ability, delay an enemy or move an ally turn, and previous turn was an ally's turn for a total of plus 80% HP damage bonus per turn. Enemy delay or ally turn manipulation is still not a very common mechanic, so I would recommend using this FR as Echo. Her BT grants her a new overhead buff that can store party brave damage dealt. Stored value can go up to 500% of Jessie's HP damage limit, and she can spend this by using a transform HP attack that will deal damage based on the stored value 3 times before setting it back to 0. With this BT, Jessie becomes quite a fun character to play. The utilities from her base kit is still there: enemy turn delay and ally turn manipulation. Her EX is reworked to fill party EX gauge to max when used for the second time. Her overhead buff is the heart of her gameplay, granting her access to a powerful nuke. Building a team around Jessie means picking characters that have strong brave damage in their kit and is not as reliant on brave gain. I put Jessie in the U Decide tier for the fun factor she provides. Next up is Snow. The hero of FF13 gets an FR with the following conditions: use an Ice ability and have a level or stack based buff or overhead for plus 60% HP damage bonus per turn. There is also an often condition of taking reduced or absorbed brave damage for plus 20%. Not a bad FR for often teams. His BT provides Ice Enchant to the party and also a Brave Refund effect whenever the party deals HP damage. Snow is a weird character. His primary role is a tank and support, but his tanking isn't that great and his auras are subpar compared to recent supports. He does have access to good damage if we can consistently upgrade his preemptive strike Retribution Plus by either spamming LD or allowing enemy turns. And for me, that's the issue with Snow. If our game plan revolves around LD spamming during force time, then Snow feels like a suboptimal choice. But if the game plan is to allow enemy turns, then counter tanks with unequipped speed passives will produce better results than him. He's not a bad character by any means, but he doesn't offer anything different or new to the roster, hence his placement in the safe skip tier. Next up in line is Cissnei. Just like Ida, she gets a simple but effective rework. Her FR has the following conditions: use a range ability for 5%, with Cissnei herself getting 10%, and this includes off-turn damage. Then plus 40% when dealing critical brave damage. Not a very good FR as primary, because teams that want to bring Cissnei don't usually stack off-turn damage. I would recommend using this as Echo instead. Her BT provides an effect similar to her LD buff. Her stack overhead buff while Rekka cannot decrease while her BT is active, so she will always have access to the stronger version of her off-turn attack, Besiege++, and this attack will trigger twice while the BT is active. Back then, Cissnei can only press her LD to prevent her stacks from going down. With her BT, she can now more freely press other buttons without worrying about the stacks. Cissnei is a powerhouse off-turn damage dealer that doesn't require any specific setups to reach her maximum power. She gets a place in the Theo approved tier for her ease of use and effectiveness. The final event of the batch features rework for Arciela and Kain. Arciela gets a brand new FR and BT. Her FR has very easy conditions. Enemy is debuffed and has no buffs for plus 80% HP damage bonus per turn. Not too bad as primary force time. Her BT effect is similar to Wise and Papalimo. It provides additional HP damage based on the number of debuffs on enemy, up to 16% additional HP damage when the enemy has 8 debuffs. This BT effect is quite good because it allows the party to deal a little more damage beyond their HP damage limit. She also has quite a lot of utilities: Dispel from S1, HP attack disable from skill 2, healing from EX, and enemy brave gain prevention from LD. She is a Swiss Army knife of support. Her FR is also a non-damaging ability, allowing her to use it as an Echo Supercharger to ramp up HP damage bonus during force time. Her one weakness is that her own damage is quite mediocre. I put Arciela in the U Decide tier. While she does have a wide role coverage, we can just as easily equip a relevant call for the gimmick that we need. Her BT is really the primary draw. If you're interested in her flavor of additional HP damage, then she will make a good addition to your roster. Last but certainly not least is Kain. Kain was the very first FR unit in DFFOO. His FR gets the much needed rework now with the following conditions. 5% when using a range ability, with Kain himself getting 20%, and this includes off-turn range attacks. 5% when launching a target, and a brand new condition of attacking a broken target for 50%. This FR also comes with 50% HP damage limit up bonus when used as primary. On paper, this FR is quite decent, but we do not have that many off-turn range attacker yet to maximize this FR. Kain's main role is an off-turn damage dealer. When he is mid-air, he will cast Lance at every field action, and this includes enemy turns, using calls, using AA, and everything else in between. His FR is fantastic as Echo, because it's instant turn. He can double tap Echo and then fly away to do his thing. While mid-air, he has a complete immunity to everything, including lethal game over attacks. For veterans that have played since the beginning of the Shinryu era, Kain is a free upgrade for all of us. But if you don't already have his full kit, I put him in the you decide tier. At the end of the day, he's just another off-turn damage dealer, and we've had many options to choose from recently. If your roster is lacking one and you didn't pull for Cissnei, then Kain can be a great addition to the cast. This is quite a stacked month with 11 reworks. There are many interesting characters, but it's unrealistic to pull for everyone. I try to limit myself to 2 or 3 characters a month. And for this batch, my plans are to ticket Leonora up to FR, just to help with the weekly crystal quests. Then I'm going to use gems on Cissnei to get her full kit. I'm also interested in Ignis, Jessie and Arciela, but I'm not sure how I want to spread my resources for them. I'll do the free pulls and make my decisions based on that. I have BT tokens ready, so I might just trade it for one of their BTs. And that's it for the tier list. What is your pull plan for this batch? Let me know in the comments. And if there's anything you disagree with, let me know as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!